This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with my dog, Piper. She's going to help me do the news today. Smackdown, once again, got a 0.5 rating last night. That seems to be the consistent rating for Smackdown on Fox lately. 0.5, which for anyone not keeping track is actually only half the rating that Fox was expecting them to get. They were expecting to get about a 1 rating every week. So they're only getting about half that. NWA legend Les Thatcher, I heard his radio show on the weekend, and he said wrestling is getting goofier rather than better. And that's actually true with world storytelling entertainment these days, which, and I'll say another quote from Les Thatcher, bad comedy is what wrestling is doing these days, not just in WWE, also in AEW. Not the funny kind of comedy, the bad kind of comedy. Throwing pee on someone that everyone knows is not pee. Like, for instance, Jeff Hardy did that the other week to Sheamus. A thing of pee this big, as if like he pissed that much in one shot. I did watch the Smackdown highlight video that WWE put on their YouTube channel, and it was hard to watch even the 5 minutes or so that it was. Matt Riddle, despite being accused of sexual abuse as part of this whole thing going on right now, one's regarding the allegations of Impact wrestlers David Christ, Joey Ryan, and Micheal Elgin. Apparently a wrestler named Ziggy Haim tweeted that she met Christ, who, by the way, I've never heard of, as I don't follow Impact, as most people don't. She was sent unwanted photos by this person when she was 20. And apparently he did this to numerous people, according to her. And she said that even though he had a girlfriend, he was hitting on her. This is all, they're just bringing dirty laundry out of people's closets. As far as Joey Ryan, a wrestler named Corrine Mink said she picked up Ryan at an airport for a show, and he groped her breasts and thighs, attempted to get her to his hotel room after kissing her. She said she told the promoter about the incident, and he said they wouldn't book him again, only to book him again. And for Micheal Elgin, who I don't really like that much and is one of the most overrated stars ever, apparently female wrestler Caitlin Demond tweeted that Elgin, under different names, sent her an unwanted picture of his genitals, in addition to emails and other messages. As far as Progress Wrestling over in the UK, they've stated now that they're no longer going to be working with Ligero and Travis Banks, who have also had accusations against them lately. I've heard some reporters say lately, when will wrestling start to grow up? I don't condone sexual abuse or anything like this, but if you look at what Ric Flair did in his day, it was pretty bad. He would flaunt his genitals to lots of people, including stewardesses. And in the old days, the list would be even longer than it is for this stuff today. So it's not like the older wrestlers are less innocent. It's just there wasn't social media back then. So as far as when is wrestling going to grow up, I don't condone any of this, but as far as wrestling itself growing up, for the people saying that, what do you really want wrestling to be? Wrestling is already boring. It's the characters are already plain. What do you mean for you people out there saying wrestling has to grow up? It's supposed to be an escape from political correctness. not something that it has become. AEW is the worst for it, like basically a showcase of political correctness, which is why barely anyone watches. People that think AEW doing in the 0.2 ratings is great. If you think that's great, good for you. Compared to the Attitude Era when they were getting 8s and 6s in wrestling on a regular basis, I think it's shit these days. Matthew Meditz tipped me $5 and says Enzo was subject to false allegations and was fired even though they were false. I'm tired of the lack of standards in WWE. As I stated yesterday in my Wrestling Observer review, as far as I know, none of these people that have been had allegations put against them have actually been formally charged of anything yet, which is probably why Riddle was still in the feature match of SmackDown against AJ Styles, which, by the way, AJ Styles is a small guy, but one thing I took away from watching the highlights of that match is how much smaller Riddle looks than AJ Styles. I don't see what the hype is about Riddle. Another small wrestler. Is wrestling going to grow up? Wrestling is supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be wild characters, larger than life characters, not your average person. That's one of the problems with wrestling today. There's too many average people in the wrestling business. And actually, if you looked at the size of the NXT wrestlers and the AEW wrestlers, if you look at the average size of their rosters, your average person off the street is actually bigger than the average size guy in NXT or AEW. Yes, they do have like 5 big guys in AEW, but it's mostly midgets, mostly little gymnastics types guys. And I've seen the flips and everything, big deal. You have 5 or 6 guys just standing there. Let me catch you. Oh, let's pretend to fall. Boom, let's do the stupid super kick. Every match, move after move. No one buys it. No one believes it. It sucks. So have a great night. I'm going to pound on my tire with my sledgehammer and flip my tire a little bit.